Hello, beer review. Usually I do beer reviews on beers I've never had before. I was having these a few nights ago and I thought, man, this beer is so darn good. I need to do a beer review on my favorite beer. And that beer would be Guinness Draught Stout. And it comes, you can hear maybe, not that one. Same beer, different can. You can hear there's a little ball in there full of nitrogen. I don't know what it's made of. But this is Guinness Draught Stout, and it comes in a 4-pack. I got it at Walmart for $7.99. These are pint cans. They're a little short of a pint because inside of these cans there's there's a nitrogen widget. It's like a little capsule. I've seen one. I took one apart. It's a little bit bigger than a large grape. About the same size as like a Concord grape. About that big around. And somehow I haven't really looked into it because I don't really tend to waste a lot of time on things that really don't, I don't need to. But somehow when you open up the can, it activates that nitrogen widget. Which typically if you go to a bar or pub and they're serving Guinness on draft the way they're supposed to, and I've never seen a bar that serves it any other way, they get a special setup for the draft tanks. Beer that's served on draft is pushed through with CO2 and gives you the foam. The CO2 had you get on, let's say, a glass of any beer draft. Bud, whatever it is. With the Guinness Draught Stout, the Guinness on draft in a bar comes with CO2 tank and a nitrogen tank, and around about 30% of the entire gas that pushes the beer out into your mug at a bar. 30% nitrogen, 70% CO2. And that's why they replicate a pint of Guinness that you would get at a bar or pub. So you're getting that really smooth experience. And there's a science behind that, why they use nitrogen. Nitrogen gas bubbles are much smaller than CO2. And you'll see that in the creamy head of the foam on this. Therefore, it gives it a very much smoother mouthfeel, and it goes down really smooth. And this beer is brewed at St. James Gate, Dublin, Ireland. They've been brewing beer there since 1752. And as far as I know, Guinness has 4 types of beer that I know of. There's this Guinness Draught Stout. And then they've got Guinness Extra Stout. It comes in a big bottle. And it's a little bit stronger than this. It doesn't have the nitrogen. Otherwise, it tastes the same. Then there's Guinness Foreign Stout, Foreign Extra Stout. And that's kind of hard to find, but you can find it if you really look for it. It's much stronger. It tastes the same, but it's a heavier gravity, thicker beer, higher alcohol. And the alcohol in this is 4.2%, which is relatively low. That's lower than Bud Light, I think. Yeah, a little bit lower than like Bud Light. So just because it's a dark beer does not mean it's a strong beer. And the calories in this are 125, which is actually about like a light beer, almost like a light beer. So it may be a very dark beer and it's got a lot of flavor, but it's actually not real high in alcohol or calories or carbs. And enough on all that. Oh, this can, the cans. According to this package here, this is a commemorative can that goes back to their 1930s and 1950s cans. All right. This is the one you're probably more used to seeing. Same exact beer. And as they say, it's best served in a glass. And I couldn't agree more. Oh, up top here. Right. Anyway, let's get to it. I have learned that the best ingredient for great beer, really good tasting, enjoyable beer, the best ingredient is a hard day's work behind you, not in front of you, because they don't go together, in my opinion. But you may have a different opinion on that. So I've had a pretty full day, physically and otherwise. I've gotten a lot done, and I'm ready for a beer. And this stuff, well, I'll let it speak for itself. Let's see if you can hear. Usually when you open one of these up, you can hear that little nitrogen widget. It whistles when it's letting the nitrogen go in here. Let's see if you can hear it. Let's see what we got here. No, I didn't hear it. I didn't. All right. Best enjoyed, poured in a glass. Now, folks, a lot of people think this is black beer. It is not black. Actually, this beer is dark red. Very dark red. I'm serving this in my made in Vermont Simon Pierce Windsor tankard. And you can hear the widget in there. Now you can see all that wonderfulness working its way up to the top. It gives you a espresso type latte creamy head to it. I'm just going to let that set and develop. Meanwhile, put a little bit of light through it. You can see this is not black, it's dark red. Brilliant, huh? What do they think of next, those conniving little Irishmen? This is really coming along great. This beer right here is about 40 degrees. Yeah, it's not really black, it's just dark red. And actually, any artist will tell you, you can't really buy black paint. You know, true black is the absence of any light, all right, anything. What you get in black paint is really the darkest shade of purple they can come up with. That's my understanding of it. And this beer is really not much different in color. Well, now, let's see what we got here. I think it's time. Oh yeah. I managed to get the the oil and the oil filter changed in my Audi today. And that was a little accomplishment. Because it's a weird car. Changing the oil wasn't, but the filter was tucked up in there. Really hard to get at. I had to get a 33 millimeter socket to get that thing loose. But I got it all changed. It's got a diesel motor, and I really like the car so far. Let's see how many miles I can get out of that motor. Well, all right. Hey, not a lot of hops in a stout. Stout generally is a malty, sweet beer. Can't really see on this, but that's a very, very creamy head. And again, that's because of the added nitrogen. Good part, because the nitrogen actually makes smaller little bubbles. That's what I read. All right. Oh my God, that is good. No acting there. I was going to ham it up, but I don't need to ham it up. That is really good. Really silky, smooth, easy to drink. Like drinking the cleanest spring water. I don't know, it just goes down so smooth. Gives you a nice lacy, where you can tell each drink. Yeah, this is my favorite beer. It's kind of like the Beatles, you know. I always come back to it. And it's always great coming back to it. Yeah, that just goes down too easy. It's like a light beer with a lot of character. Oh my God. You know you want one. You know you want one. Well, I'd be happy to share some with you. Oh my God. Folks, this is good. This is really good. Get yourself 4 of these, put them in your refrigerator, and enjoy them. Oh yeah. I don't usually drink my beer this fast. I'm just doing this to demonstrate how easy it goes down. Right. Very good. The best on earth.